In this video, I'm going to show you how to take your branding and apply it to your Squarespace site so you can really make it start coming to life, give it that professional look. And I know I said that my last two videos were a two-part series. I think this is going to actually be part 3 because in the first video we talked about how to create your copy for your homepage. In the second video, I showed you how to get my wireframe and input your copy. Now I'm going to show you how to add your fonts and your colors and your logo and everything so that it really starts to have a design and not just be text on a page. So let's get right to it. Assuming that you're in edit mode, again, whether you're on my wireframe or not, whether maybe you have a different template or you're starting your own Squarespace website, doesn't matter. This will apply to anyone on a Squarespace 7.1 site. So let's go into edit mode. And if you want to get access to this, go to designingtherow.com/free and you can get started there. So let's just come into the site styles. If you haven't already navigated over to the site styles, pretty much anytime you want to change something that has to do with design, you come into the site styles, which is in this top right corner, at least as of now, and it will open a right sidebar for you. Now, we are going to look at fonts and colors and buttons. So first of all, fonts, you can click on fonts right here where it has, like you can see it's highlighting this big block here, or you can click on this little arrow and those are going to take you to two different places. So you can see if I click on this, it's going to show me some recommended font pairings. Cool, great, you can pick some of those if you want, but there's so much more that you can do here and you can access that by clicking on the arrow. If you click on the arrow, you can change all of these settings on about your fonts. I normally leave the base size what it is, and then I come into headings and paragraphs, buttons, and miscellaneous, and I customize my fonts accordingly. So under headings, you can see I just have Arial selected, but if I scroll down here, you can see Squarespace has so many fonts available for you to use. And if you were to just click on that font pairings little preview, you wouldn't have known that. Now, if you already have a brand established, you're not going to need to sit here and scroll through these to find a font that you like. You will already have a font that you can just select and input. So you can do that, and then you can style the thickness, the weight, the bold, whatever you want to call it, of your font. Some have more, some have less. For the most part, I leave these things alone, but you can change the line height. You can change the spacing. I normally just leave those be. If you want to make your headers uppercase, you can do that. That can all be controlled here. You can change the sizing here for each header. All of that can be controlled here. The same for paragraphs. Again, you can select your font. You can search for the font here to make it quicker to find. And then again, change all of the styling for that font. I would do the same for buttons and miscellaneous and make sure, at least my rule of thumb is to use just 2 fonts on your site. If you want to do 3, I might let you do that, but use the third one very sparingly. That is fonts. Again, remember if you do fonts here, you're going to get some pre-selected font packs, which is great. But if you click into the arrow, you'll get much more customizing options. And the exact same thing goes for color. So if I click here, here's a couple color palettes to choose from. They're probably not going to be relevant to you. If you click here, not only can we customize the colors in our color palette for our site, but you can customize how they are used within each what they call theme. So you can see as you scroll down my page, it pretty much alternates between like white and gray. Here's a dark gray. Each one of these sections I've selected a color theme for, so you can see when I hover over it, this is dark 1, this is lightest 1, this is light 1, lightest 1. So essentially you can select how your colors are used within each theme. Of course there's going to be presets, but for example, something that I like to do to give it all the sites that I create a really elevated look is to make sure the buttons are the same color in every single theme. You don't want your buttons to be blue in this section, and then the next section they're going to be black, and the next section they're going to be white, just because it's using your colors in various ways. I like to always make my colors, no matter what theme, the same color. So this gives us the ability to customize that. If I come into Edit Palette, you can see here we have even more options. If you have your brand established, you can select each of these blocks here and put in your hex code. You can put in RGB or HSL codes here, and it will customize your color. There's some more presets for you to choose from down here. I never use those. You could also do from image. I'm just going to show you how this works just to give you an example. I'm going to drop in a colorful picture of my own. And you can see it's already applying the colors to my design over here, which is pretty cool. You can do that, or you can come in here and customize your colors accordingly. Let's do this, and I'll just drag that. We'll make it a light medium charcoal gray there. So now we have a color palette, and it's already applied across the site. You can see what they've done here is exactly what I recommend for website colors. You have a white color or something very close to it. You have a light, an accent, a dark, and a black or something very close to it. That's going to make your website design look elevated and professional. Actually, one more thing on the colors. Let me show you a theme. If I come into, let's do this. This is light 1. If I come into light 1, it'll show you the themes that you're using up here. I'll click on the pencil for light 1, and if I scroll down here, you can see all of the ways that you can customize the colors. Now, obviously in this first section here, I'm not using all of these different options. Like, this is not a blog, it's not a product. I don't need to customize all those things for this section right here. But I just wanted to show you the number of things that you have the ability to customize as far as colors. So if I click on one, for example, it will give you your preset color palette to choose from, or you can come into custom and choose a different color. For the most part, I assume that you will probably be sticking to your color palette. So if, let's see, let me change something so you can see it happen over here. If I change something over here, it will apply immediately to your design. So if I come to the section background and I switch the color, you can see it changed the background immediately. So that's how easy it is to set your colors and change your colors and customize your colors on Squarespace. Let's close out of that. I'm gonna save it while we're at it. Just, you never know. We'll come back into site styles, and I also want to show you buttons. Again, if you hover over this, it'll give you some preset options. If you click the arrow, we can customize every type of button. Now, on Squarespace, you have 3 different button types. I normally just use the first 2, but if you need a third option, it's available for you. If you come into your primary button, you can set the font. You can set the shape. It can be filled or not filled. You can have a square or all sorts of different shapes that you can choose from. If you need an outline, you can do that. You can click over to your secondary button and tertiary button and customize those from there as well. So that is your site styles, your fonts, your colors, and your buttons. Now let's talk about your website header. So this up here is your header. If I hover over it, you can see I can click to edit the header. Now I think the settings for editing your header are a little scattered. You can see we have add elements over on the left. If we want to add a logo, you click on that and customize that separately. Or you can edit the design, which the button is all the way over here on the right. A little scattered. It is what it is. So let's start up here with our site title and logo. If I click on it and then click on the pencil icon, let's drag in just my Designing the Row logo. And you can see that populates and takes the place of the text, but the site title, which is important, if you watch the last couple videos, you'll understand why. You can see it's still showing up in the tab, but the logo takes the visual place. I can change the height of it, and you can also do it on mobile, which if I come over to the mobile view, again, click on it, click on the pencil icon, you can change the sizing of it here as well. Now back to the desktop view. Let's come into add elements. There are a variety of elements that you can add. I often do either button, social links, or cart. The account and the language, those are very rare ones that I use. So these are the three that you would most likely use. And now let's go over to Edit Design, and we can change how it's all arranged. So I can click here and you can see your 5 options that you have for arranging your elements in the header. Right now, this one is my favorite. I don't know why, but this is the one that I lean towards a lot. It used to be this one. I still like it depending on how many pages there are, what the spacing looks like, but I go between probably 1, 2, or 3, depending on what you like. You can change the spacing between things, you can add shadows, borders, you can change the height. I usually actually take height out to bring up the content on the page a little bit more, make it inset, full width, and the color. So here we go with colors again. You have 3 options for colors of your header. You can either pick the color to be solid and it will be the same across all of your pages. You can put a gradient on it, and so this will take, the header will take on the color of whatever the first section is with a gradient at the very top of it. Or you can do adaptive, and so let's say I think it's light 1 here at the top of this page, the header will be light 1 and take on that color scheme. Let's say on my about page I use lightest 1, then it will be white and take on the color theme for that. So whatever makes most sense to you, you can do that and make some customizations down here as well. Let's hit save for now. And to get pages up in your main menu, if you come into pages, you just need to add some things to your site down here in order for those to populate. Like you can see if I drag that up to main navigation, it will populate into my header up here. So those are my favorite and the quickest ways to add your branding and your personality to your website. If you have any questions for me about getting started and bringing your design to life, let me know in the comments, or if you'd like to work together, just head over to designingtherow.com/services, and I can't wait to hear about your project and what you're working on and see if we can bring it to life together.